What would you call somebody who lives sustainably?
I think someone that doesn't take out from the earth what more than they put in.
Permaculturalist, I guess.
Eco-friendly. A hippie.
They choose to put their energy in things that benefit not only themselves but the whole community.
It's not overusing, whether it's overeating or driving your car more than you should.
Able to use the land forever.
Not relying on excessive means to find shelter, food, you know, healthy water, etc.
It's not just necessarily people putting the beer bottles in the green bin.
People that have like a solar roof.
They grow all organic produce.
They cycle, they walk. They're not conspicuous consumers.
Put on the skillet, put on the lid. Mama's gonna make a little shortening bread. That ain't all she's gonna do. Mama's gonna make a little coffee too.
We're not connected to the sewage, so we just have the grey water system and the compost toilet. We're composting our poo into compost.
So none of your human waste goes into the sewer at all?
Nothing, no. It will go to our garden. There's 2 chambers to Clivus. That's the top chamber, that's where all the poo collects and piles up. There's another chamber here. If I lift that chamber, that's where all the actual composted material is. Sawdust from the local carpentry place. Finished my business. 1 cup per poo, unless it was a really heavy barbecue day, then it's 2. Close the lid and go and wash your hands.
Mama's little baby loves shortening. Mama's little baby loves shortening bread. Mama's little baby loves shortening. Mama's little baby loves shortening bread.
A mate of mine makes it, and he helped me do all this. I knew that you could convert vegetable oil, but I just didn't do anything about it. And it wasn't until he was doing it, and he sort of talked me into it, and so I got a free ride pretty much, because he's done all the hard yards with the stuff ups when you make it. Things do go wrong. I got an old hot water service from the rubbish tip, and I had a few taps and bits and pieces, and then basically a mate of mine, we measured it and welded bits and pieces into it. You could buy a lot of second-hand stuff, you know. This is vegetable oil, and that's fat that's left over from whatever's been cooked in the vegetable oil, so you try and get as much of that out as you can. But I'm guessing that some of it that makes it through would actually convert to fuel. If you just said, well look, I'm going to use $50 worth of fuel a week, it probably cuts that down to $12 a week. So if you can save a few bucks on fuel, you know, it's like putting solar panels on your house, you know, you're saving electricity, you know. It is cleaner, they reckon. It burns cleaner, like it's less emissions and stuff like that. It all counts, I suppose, yeah, towards helping the world a bit too, doesn't it? But ultimately, you're helping yourself, aren't you?
Mama's little baby loves shortening. Mama's little baby loves shortening bread. Mama's little baby loves shortening. Mama's little baby loves shortening bread.
We are establishing our first community garden in Bellingen, and these guys are the neighbourhood people who are putting in the input for the design of our site. And our first goal is to create allotments for the locals here to grow fruit and veg, have somewhere to sit with shade and protection from the weather, and somewhere to store their tools. It has great leniency for regeneration around the stormwater areas and putting our local species back there to bring back local habitat and wildlife. So it's actually very exciting to be part of a community garden in a more rural area.
Mama's little baby loves shortening. Mama's little baby loves shortening bread. Mama's little baby loves shortening. Mama's little baby loves shortening bread.
It's probably the healthiest milk you can get. So, because it's, I don't know, it's far more digestible. We barter the milk with some people in the town. Not actually allowed to sell it, so we just swap. Oh, it becomes part of a good cycle. Like there's a lot of refuse around here, like from goat poo and the straw and the lucerne. And you know, you put it out in the garden and you grow things with it. Like obviously our veggies sort of do well out of it, but things like the arrowroot and those mulberry trees there, which the goats also eat. It's a nice cycle. I only wanted 2. This one was one of the babies from the other one. The children got a bit attached to her, so I got outvoted. She had to stay.
I've dreamt this place many times. First of all, I imagine these cars not to be here.
We'll see a lot more pedestrian traffic. We'll see a lot more local produce in the local shops.
Not getting lemons from the States when there's lemons growing just over there.
We need much more infrastructure, railways from Melbourne to Brisbane, and get trucks off the road and this sort of thing.
It has to be community. It has to be people who are involved with each other and who are interested in developing relationships within the community, supportive, being here, localised.
People would have reconnected with all the different skills that we need to live a more locally sustainable existence.
If we can keep going with enough of the social fabric stuff that gives importance and meaning to people's lives and happiness and well-being, then I would say you're going a long way to meeting your needs and having a good existence.
We could be a major contribution to showing how societies can live in this wonderful community.
do.